Hi, I'm Mike, owner of The Groove in Phoenix, Arizona, and today I'm doing the new arrival video for February 2nd, 2024. Pretty solid new arrival week. Nothing overwhelming like it's been the last couple of weeks, but we're not light on new arrivals either. So I will show you that in a minute, and then at the end I'll show you a couple of restocks I got from Impex, and also some more of the records that I'm going to be putting on this Sunday's Whatnot auction, where I'm auctioning off nothing but really clean, high grade, first pressings. Mostly US first pressings, but some UK stuff, some other country first pressing as well, but mostly clean US first pressings. I'll show you guys about that towards the end. You can click the link below, our Whatnot link, and that'll take you directly to the auction. If you haven't signed up for Whatnot in the past, you'll get $15 off your first purchase by clicking that link. But it's cool, it's a live stream. This particular auction I'm going to simulcast onto YouTube. So if you want to just watch, it's easier and better to do it within the Whatnot app because you can see more information and it's in real time. But they simulcast to Whatnot and a little bit grainier video, but I don't follow the YouTube feed. So if you want to interact with anybody, including myself in that stream, you kind of have to do it on Whatnot. Okay, huge week for pre-orders, and not because I've got a huge amount of pre-orders, but because there's some big ones. The first one I looked at and I'm like, what the heck, like, why? And that is Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. This is a 50th anniversary pressing. But the first thing I did when I looked at it, I'm like, it's a picture disc. But then I read the description and it's not. What they've done, they've actually taken two clear pieces of vinyl and made them single-sided. So you got side A on disc 1 and side B on disc 2. But on the reverse, they did some sort of UV printed, it's some newfangled way of manufacturing a picture disc, but on vinyl. Most people don't realize picture discs aren't made of vinyl, they're plastic, and they sound like plastic. They're not good sounding by any stretch of the imagination. They're light years from where they were in the 70s, but they're still noisy by comparison to vinyl because it's plastic. But this is super cool. It comes in like a slip jacket. It's two clear discs. Go online and check the picture out, but it's got kind of the dark side of the moon, like the heartbeat, and it's got the triangle on it to where it's printed when you're playing it. It kind of like spins around on the player, but it's cool because you're not actually listening to, you're listening to vinyl, you're not listening to plastic. And a lot of people might say, well, yeah, it's single-sided, but you know what? Classic records back in the 90s, they were doing a lot of single-sided discs because they found for optimal sound over the years, you never put your record grooves on like a dirty mat. So you never actually were putting the groove side on to your platter to get dirty. I mean, I've never had that problem myself. You know, you can clean your platter, but that was kind of their theory. But in a way, this is kind of reminiscent of that, to where you're getting a single-sided disc. Really cool. I will say this. This is something you want to pre-order. This is not something you want to wait on. If you are, if this is your thing and you want to own this. This is a really unique thing, and I don't see this as something, they put it in as a limited edition collector's item, which means nothing because everybody says that. But I could tell you from a logistics standpoint, this is not something that is going to be easy to just manufacture. It's not like 6 months from now, they start the presses back up on something like this. I really feel like this is a one and done, much like the other 50th anniversary box set with that Russian nesting doll deal, where it was a box and a box and a box. That came out, it sold out, it went out of print, it went up in value, and that was it. It's gone. And I think this is that kind, I'm not trying to get you guys all freaked out, FOMO, but sometimes some things don't stick around. And this, to me, looks like something that is not going to stick around. This looks like something, if you're interested in, and actually I am, it's cool. This is something you wanna get. And actually I have to, because I have like this many Dark Side of the Moons. Where would my collection be without this? But this is, of the this many Dark Side of the Moons I have, this is on the cooler side. Okay, something that should be in print, and probably will be in print for the foreseeable future. That comes out, by the way, April 5th. I forgot the date on this. We have a black vinyl version of Alice in Chains, Jar of Flies. It's cool that they're putting some Alice in Chains stuff back in print, but where's Tripod? Like, that record's never got repressed. But yeah. Okay, Whitney Houston. Mobile Fidelity is doing the super vinyl, continuing their super vinyl of the Whitney Houston catalog. I think they're only doing these 2 albums, but this is the self-titled album. So this is Whitney Houston, where they've already done the Whitney album, which isn't technically self-titled because the name of the album is Whitney. But I'm looking forward to this. Vinyl Me Please did this all analog as like a box set, 35th anniversary box set. It's not actually analog. It's really a bizarre thing, and I don't think anybody's ever called them out on it, but I will. They advertise that as AAA from the master tape, cut by Ryan Smith, but it's not analog. If you look inside the booklet, it actually shows you a photograph of the master tape, and the master tape actually says EQ copy, I think it said EQ copy from 610 PCM. The original file, the original recording was actually done digitally. So definitely not AAA, cut from an analog master tape, but something that Vinyl Me Please never should have advertised. The original file format was PCM, and then I think Bob Ludwig took the PCM file and made an EQ copy of that, and that's what Vinyl Me Please used to make that. On a side note, it's not very good sounding. When I got it, I wasn't really thrilled with the sound. I listened to it once, I went eh, and then I put it on the shelf and never listened to it again. It wasn't great at all. Mobile Fidelity is doing the album, but they actually went back and it looks like they got the PCM file because the hype shows that it's from the original master, which in this case is the PCM file. And they're going to give it the, the MoFi treatment. So I'm looking forward to how this sounds. I think there's a lot of potential. If you look at how good the Whitney album sounds in comparison to the original, I mean, it is freaking awesome. I love that album. Play it all the time in the store. It rocks. It really is really good. Vinyl Me Please wasn't that good on the Whitney album, so I'm looking forward to this. So, yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. If Vinyl Me Please is doing it from an EQ copy, they're kind of set almost in a way of how the album's going to sound. But if MoFi is going back to the original files, they get a fresh start and a fresh crack at it with a generation closer, right? Because they're getting it from the original master. All right. I'm surprised nobody called them out on that. Actually, I should have made a video on that when it happened. But, it's Whitney Houston. I love Whitney Houston. I don't know how many other people are like, Whitney. But I think it's fantastic, personally. All right. The next 2 Blue Note Classics have been announced. We've got Donald Byrd, A New Perspective, that's coming out March 15th, and we've got Miles Davis, Volume 2, Blue Note Classic, that comes out March 15th as well. Alice Cooper, they're continuing like the 3-disc super deluxe-ish editions, or deluxe versions. They're doing Billion Dollar Babies. It's the album plus a live disc from '73, and I think some outtakes. They're calling this the $1 Trillion Baby edition. So it's no longer the $1 Billion Babies edition. It is the $1 Trillion Babies. Inflation, maybe? That's a lot of extra dollars. But yeah, the $1 Trillion version. That comes out March 8th, 2023. And that's it. Okay, long intro, but now let me show you guys some of the stuff that came in this week. Starting with, I got a couple of SACDs from Chesky Records, the SACD of the world's greatest audiophile vocal recordings. I got Volume 3 and Volume 2. It's actually a nice SACD jewel case and a slip case. And this, I don't even remember ordering it. I probably didn't order enough of them, so if you're interested, put a restock notification in, but look at it. Bob James, 1. This is an SACD from Evo Sound. Okay, and Volume 2 of the Rolling Stones 7-inch single box. It's a really cool box. So you've got everything from, what do we got? Paint It Black up to Sympathy for the Devil, the remix, the Fatboy Slim remix. That came out, I think, as a multi-channel SACD a while back. I used to have that. I might still. But, yeah, the Honky Tonk Sympathy for the Devil, disc 17. So it's 1845 RPM singles. Really cool. I don't know if you can see the back there. Maybe pause and zoom in. 32-page book with expansive liner notes. But yeah, this is a continuation of the series. I don't know if they do. I mean, there's enough singles for them to clearly do a volume 3. I don't know if they do it, but yeah. Okay. Half-Speed Master, Paul McCartney, Band on the Run. And I also got a Half-Speed Master of The Who's Quadrophenia. Nice thick book in there. I don't know if you can kind of make it out, but yeah. From Blue Note, all analog cut from the original master tape by Kevin Gray. We've got the Blue Mitchell Quintet. Down with it. I'm actually really looking forward to this. Chick Corea on piano. And a record that I'm not familiar with. I always appreciate these kind of like newer records that they throw in to the Tone Poet series, because it, you know, kind of forces me to listen to something that I hadn't been on my radar until recently. Because a lot of the stuff that they do on the Tone Poet, a lot of these newer ones, never got vinyl issues. They were CD only, and until recently, I didn't even have a CD player, so kind of left me out in the cold. But Joe Lovano, Elvin Jones, and Dave Holland, the Trio Fascination. This is a 2 LP set. Originally came out, looks like, in '98. I'd have to look, but it might never have even gotten an original LP mastering. More than likely, it probably didn't. But the Solo Hofo, the digital version versus the Blue Note, quality, like sound-wise, holy cow, it was like on another planet. It might have been another record. It sounded like another, I mean, it was a wild upgrade. Okay, this is kind of cool. So, Gil Scott-Heron, this is Free Will. This is on the Flying Dutchman. This is the second one of these that they've done that's all analog, AAA, cut in an all analog chain by Frank Merritt at the Carvery in London. This is the second in this all analog series and been really popular. Who by the Numbers. This is the other Who reissue that came out this week as a Half-Speed Master. The Strokes. Is This It? Limited edition transparent red vinyl with the original, not suitable for the US audience, cover. We got some lame cover here in the States, but in Europe, that was the original cover. Hello, I'm Britty. On Easy Eye Sound, limited edition pink and purple swirl vinyl. It's Britty. We've got Elon Musk's Baby's Mama Grimes. Visions. On 4AD. Wonder what that child support payment looks like. I'd imagine it's hefty. You would think. I mean, I don't know, but I would think so. Big Thief, Masterpiece. A couple of soundtracks this week. We've got Serendipity, music from the original motion picture. The 2001 rom-com on skating pink and white vinyl. We've got The Breeders, Pod. This actually came out as a record store day release a while back with like a bonus slip map, but I guess this is the standard vinyl version of the Ponderosa Showcase, Volume 1. From Daptone. Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, the original motion picture soundtrack on Mellow Yugo vinyl pressing. Yugo, because there's Yugo. From Real Gone Music. Fuel, Something Like Human. We've got One Fine Day, music from the motion picture. This is the 1996 beloved rom-com on Coke Clear and Yellow Swirl vinyl. It's an interesting, Van Morrison, Kebmo, Ella Fitzgerald, Natalie Merchant. Steve Young, Rock, Salt, and Nails. This is kind of one of those, this was a difficult record. I think I've had 2 originals of these come in over the years. Featuring Graham Parsons, James Burton, and Gene Clark. This is on Rock Salt vinyl. But got a reissue from Real Gone Music. It's one of those records that I'm surprised they reissued it. Almost nobody knows what it is, but then, you know, when you have one on the wall and the right guy sees it, they, you know, blow a gasket. But we've got, for the first time on vinyl, since the original 71 release, the second album from the all-female band, Fanny. Charity Ball. We've got Link Ray, Jack the Ripper. Pressed on blood red vinyl by Sundays. We've got In a Minor Groove, Dorothy Ashby and Frank West. New Jazz. A memorizing 1958 jazz harp classic taken from the original mono tapes. I was a little sketchy there at the minute. I'm like, wait, is this look like a gray market like boot there for a minute, because it didn't have, you know, didn't have the, I guess it says New Jazz there, so never mind. But yeah, if you look on the back, this is a Concord, official Concord release. I wonder who did the master. Taken from the original mono tapes. We've got some Black Jazz reissues, legendary avant-garde jazz label. I think, who's doing this? Real Gone Music did a reissue campaign. This is Rudolph Johnson. First ever LP reissue. Some of them are on colored vinyl. We've got Gene Russell, Talk to My Lady. I want to say everything on the Black Jazz label is like at least $100 if you find an original. It's like $100 to $400 range for originals of these. Not like Strata, you know, but they're expensive and very difficult to find. Kelly Patterson, excuse me, Maiden Voyage. A vocal. This is one I've not heard. This is a vocal session. Chester Thompson, Powerhouse. I've got maybe about 20 of these, 25 of these originals. I mean, and most of them came from one guy. They're not, you don't run into them much. Ennio Morricone's soundtrack to Spasmo. A little on the wild side. Jerry Garcia's Run for the Roses. We've got Green Line by Steve Marcus on Endless Happiness. Sonny Chirac. This looks interesting. I gotta give this a listen to. Well, this looks good. Of course, every time I say that on one of these YouTube videos, and I'm like, oh man, this is awesome. I should get a copy, like sold out. Mahashiko Sato, Holography. This is on the same label. Endless Happiness. I got to check these both out. Tambla 4, We and the Sea. Same label. I think this is originally on CTN. This is a CTI originally. Felt like this came out for Record Store Day not too long ago. Kip Moore, Up All Night, the deluxe edition. The Best of Survivor. Oh my God, this is a 2-disc set. I thought they just did Eye of the Tiger. Did they? Was there 2 discs worth of Best of Survivor? All right. Maybe they had another like quasi hit, but you at least get Eye of the Tiger from Friday Music. Rainbow Kitten Surprise. 7+ Mary. Rainbow Kitten Surprise. This is the self-titled. I'm guessing Rainbow Kitten Surprise is going through a reissue campaign. Rosetta Stone, An Eye for the Main Change on opaque purple vinyl. From Ghetto Records, Candido y su Movimiento, Palos de Fuego. Aced it. Ghetto Records, Vinyl Me Please did a box set on the label, but kind of one of those Latin, you know, East Coast Latin labels. You know, one of those labels that you're never going to find in the state of Arizona. You know, not in original form anyways. George Benson, Shape of Things to Come. This is also on the Endless Happiness label. The hell is the Endless Happiness label? These must be an official release. It's because it's got copyright dates on there, and this is 1969 originally, so it's well, you know, years away from being able to be public domain, like the Spanish gray market crap. Music on Vinyl, doing some more weather report. Limited edition to 1,500 numbered copies on red and black marble vinyl. This is Sweet Nighter, copy 282. Gordon Lightfoot. I've got it 100% Friday Music, right? From Friday Music, we've got Gordon Lightfoot. Sundown. It will sell. I mean, Gordon, you know, Friday Music is kind of making a good living doing records that aren't anymore, but used to be dollar records 10 years ago. Centric Soul, the Shoestring label, on Jimmy Green vinyl. This is a Numero Group release. These are great. I'm digging these. This whole series. This is essentially a modern vinyl budget greatest hits. It's called Now Playing. They've done about 20 of these. This is Otis Redding's Now Playing greatest hits, but for 20 bucks, Respect, Dock of the Bay, Hard to Handle, Mr. Pitiful. But I think they've done at least 20, 25 of these things. I think Curtis Mayfield was last week. Great. You get a lot of listenable music for not a lot of money, which is good for people just getting into vinyl. Alan Parsons, On Air from Music on Vinyl, 1,500 numbered copies on translucent red colored vinyl. Ooh, this is cool. This is exactly number 1,000. So one of you guys is going to get exactly number 1,000. Jay Mascis, What Do We Do? The Loser Edition, which is Sub Pop's first pressing. The first time on LP with original artwork, The Way of the Vaselines. Two LP. It's got Molly's Lips. The Vaselines, a band that was made much, much more famous by Nirvana. All Time Low, Put Up or Shut Up. Yellow vinyl. Nectar, Man in the Moon on white vinyl. The Fray, How to Save a Life. Oh, is that tune? Is that The Fray, How to Save a Life? God, I don't ever want to hear that song again. Oh man, one of those, you know, back in the day when you pretty much only had radio in the car, that was like nonstop on the radio. The Fray, self-titled. We got these directly from the label, and for some goofy reason, I'm guessing that it's not a goofy reason, but they all have Walmart exclusive price tags on them. But we got these directly from Sony, so I'm guessing at one time they were made exclusively to Walmart, and now they're exclusive to everybody. But we've got Billy Joel's 52nd Street on, what do we want to call that, Walmart blue vinyl. The Stranger, black vinyl, I'm assuming. Stormfront, his second to hardest album to get, next to River of Dreams, which was, you know what, 93. Ooh, Billy Joel's got a new single coming out. I think you can hear it today. Was it the first? I got to give it a listen to. An Innocent Man. Billy Joel's a smart guy in the sense that everything he ever did was essentially a hit. I mean, his records were all really successful. They had big radio tunes on them, all the way up to his last album, River of Dreams. Then he just said, you know what? I don't have anything to write about anymore, and he just stopped. So I'm kind of curious what this new song's about. He must have found something to write about. I wonder what it is. Aaliyah. This is by far and away her most popular album. It's cool that they finally put this thing out. I know I was solicited for this thing about a year ago, and it keeps getting pushed back, but here it is. First time on vinyl since 2001. Not my kind of music, but very popular. And it'll sell well. Foreigners, greatest hits. Friday music. Colored vinyl, I believe. It's got the sticker over the barcode, which typically signifies it's a color variant. Astrid Gilberto with Stanley Turrentine. This is also on the Endless Happiness label. I must have found a couple of these things that I liked, and I'm like, you know what, let's buy all the Endless Happiness. Originally on CTI as well, I believe. Is this some more Endless Happiness? Yep. Astrid Gilberto. I haven't got anything better to do. Absolutely love her voice. It's super fantastic. Not just fantastic, but I mean, it's super fantastic. Of course, she's made the hit version of The Girl from Ipanema from the Gets Gilberto. Cage the Elephant, thank you, happy birthday. This is a Record Store Day essential, which means you can only get it from authorized RSD stores, stores that participate in Record Store Day. It's kind of their Record Store Day throughout the year program. Ultra clear vinyl with 5 additional tracks. The Cars, greatest hits. From Friday Music? Yes. Fish, Round Room. Vinyl mastered by Chris Bellman at Bernie Grundman Mastering. 2 LP on colored vinyl. This is numbered 8,220. We've got the soundtrack to the worst television show ever made that I'm still very, very angry about because it wasted at least 3 weeks of my life of straight TV viewing, binge watching that I'll never get back. I absolutely despise this. Don't ever watch this crappy show. It's horrible. First time ever on vinyl. This is the score for Lost, Season 1. Although the first episode was fantastic. But don't watch it. You don't want to get sucked in that hole. Pun intended, if you've seen the show. Don't get sucked in the hole. Horrible. Just horrible. But a cool cover. Verasi Sarabande. Foil cover. Amy Winehouse's Frank. Available on picture disc for the first time. This looks like a double picture disc. Okay, we got a restock from Impex. The Barefoot Adventure by Bud Shank. Fantastic record, selling really well. You're going to be quite shocked how good, musically, this soundtrack to a obscure surfing documentary could possibly be, but it's great. Art Blakey's The Drum Suite. Also by Impex. Fantastic record. More on the... this is more like tribal music, but I dig it. Also from Impex, we've got a restock of the Youngbloods Elephant Mountain with the new spar sticker, analog recording, analog mix, analog master, analog lacquer cutting. We've got a restock of Jennifer Warren's The Hunter on green vinyl, numbered to 3,000. Really dig this one. This is good. Tony Bennett and Dave Brubeck. This is the White House Sessions live in 1962. Got a restock of Friday Night in San Francisco. This record sounds amazing. This is the 45 RPM of it. I'm pretty sure this is on my top 100 imprint analog records you should own list. It's been a while since I've had it, so tough to remember. Got a restock of the Patricia Barber Nightclub One Step. This has been out of print for years and years and years. I think it's been 3 years since I've had this, maybe 4 years. Jennifer Warren's The Well from Impex. Big, thick, it's like a cardboard box, but big and heavy. 3 LP set. This is a new release by Chasing the Dragon. Kind of cool. It comes with like a book, but rather than putting the book inside the record and causing it to warp, they actually sealed the book on the outside. But this is Shahrazad. Chasing the Dragon. Fantastic, amazing sounding recordings. And you can see the process there on the back of them recording it direct to tape. Couple of restocks from the Craft Recording series that they did with Chet Baker. These are all analog, cut by Kevin Gray from the original master tapes. They did, I think, 4 of the Riverside titles, but I got a restock of In New York. Chet Baker Sings, and I think I got Chet in earlier in the week. All right, let me show you guys what we're going to be putting on the first pressing auction coming up this Sunday on Whatnot. I think it's 11 o'clock Arizona time. Check out how clean. This is a first pressing Moby Grape with the uncensored cover, and there's also the poster in there. Monocopy. Super rare. Really nice and clean. David Bowie, first pressing of Low with the hype sticker. Set these over here. Just some stuff like, you know, the Cure, the Walk, In the Shrink. Fleetwood Mac, UK pressing of the Pious Bird of Good Omen on Blue Horizon. Real nice In the Shrink first pressing of John Prine. You know, Analog Productions did a 45 RPM version of it. This is the Presswell first pressing. This is real nice, super clean VG+++ of The Doors' Strange Days gold label Electra. Look how clean that cover is. These are almost always whipped. You know, ringware. First pressing of The Doors' Waiting for the Sun on the gold label. The last album to receive this. Really nice, clean copy of the Beatles' Rubber Soul in the shrink with the original Maze price tag on the back. Stereo copy. First pressing of Queen's A Day at the Races. Another record you don't find clean very often. Sly and the Family Stone, There's a Riot Going On, US first pressing. We've got a first pressing of Houses of the Holy, Led Zeppelin. I wonder if this is a Robert Ludwig. It's notated already. Yeah, this is the RL pressing, one everybody wants. There's some jazz. Miles Davis, first pressing of Miles in the Sky, stereo, Columbia 2i. Tom Tom Club, In the Shrink. Parliament, The Clones of Dr. Funkenstein, In the Shrink. Just a really nice copy of Jimi Hendrix's Electric Ladyland on the two-tone Reprise label. Just a killer sounding copy of Lou Reed's Transformer. All this stuff is going to be sold for no reserve. It starts at $10. What it sells for, it sells for. This is a really clean copy of Michael Jackson's Thriller, but this is the true first pressing. You know, missing one of the credit lines. You would think that a clean copy of Thriller would be easy to find, but it's getting much more difficult to find than you would think. They were partied with. They were played to death. The Kinks, Arthur, first pressing on the two-tone label, and not my favorite, but probably considered my second favorite Kinks album. Village Green Preservation Society, also on the two-tone label. Yeah, really great record. But this is going to be a fun auction. It's looking like it's going to be maybe 130, 140 items, so maybe about a 4-hour auction on Sunday, starting at 11. But yeah, click the link below to see that. So there is actually a lot more stuff that is coming out this week that I didn't get in time to show you guys on this video, but if you follow the website, you'll see those things populate as they come in on the front page of the website. But yeah, check us out online at theingroove.com. Until next time.